is Nick Kiernan. He is coming to us from ELBOWZ Racing, and they are back for 2013, where a lot of people may have thought they were pronounced dead, but they are riding, and they are going to be stronger than ever. And I got this message from Ben Spies, their owner, and it says this. It says, "We're all excited to announce that ELBOWZ Racing will be back for a third year in developing up-and-coming riders by providing professional-level support and access. It's no secret that I love cycling, and this team keeps me connected with my friends and provides additional channel for my sponsors to explore. Our goal is to support children's charitable organizations, and I see no better way to do that than through a sport like cycling, and it's a message of health, of a healthy, active living." So why don't you just expand on that a little bit?
Well, yeah, for 2013, I mean, I think for everybody in the industry, it was probably a bit of a tough off season. But you know, we're back. We've built a stronger team than years previous, and we're working with a few new sponsors. You know, first and foremost, Ben switched bikes this past year. Like, he was riding for Yamaha before, and this year he'll be riding for Ducati. So with that came some sponsor changes. But as far as the cycling team goes, we brought on some new sponsors, and it's always been a passion of ours to work with, you know, some different children's charities, some that are dear to him and some of the other riders. So for this year, we actually linked up with a charity based out of Austin called Bone Shaker Project. It's a really cool little charity that's growing. They've had some cyclists in the past, but this is their first year with us, and we're really excited to have them. With that came a rider by the name of Logan Hutchins. He's an incredible rider, absolutely incredible, from New Zealand. So, you know, one of Heathy's countrymen. So, I mean, it's going to be an exciting year. We've put together, you know, quite a team.
Why don't you run over that roster for us really quick? I mean, we know, we've all heard who Eric Marcotte is, and we know who McCabe is now because they rode off the front in a San Diego race and brought the victory home for ELBOWZ. But why don't you run over your roster really quick?
Well, you know, back for this year, we've pretty much got all the guys. The notable exception is going to be, you know, Christian. And that was just, he lived in Europe, and I think that, you know, I think he felt like he wanted to be home, and which is completely understandable. So we have, you know, Eric back. We've got Heath Blackgrove. We've got Sean Sullivan. We've got Joe Schmalz. We've got, you know, we still have Tyler Jewell riding with us. We brought on, obviously, Travis. Brought on another guy by the name of Michael Sheehan. He's out of Austin. Logan Hutchins. And we brought on, and this is fairly new, just in the past couple weeks, or actually in the past couple days, Andreas Diaz from Exergy to kind of help bolster our GC chances. We've got another kid from Dallas named Nick Taraka, which, you know, he's a extremely talented young up-and-comer. And then we also have another guy from Dallas, Nicky Bull. You know, we still have our regional component, which is Brett Crosby and Simon Essel and Randy Keenest. So, you know, we've got kind of all of our bases covered, I think, this year.
Yeah, it sounds like it. What kind of bikes are you guys going to be on this year?
We'll still be on Specialized, which, you know, they're absolutely amazing to us. So you know, there's not really many big equipment changes. You know, we pretty much, I sat down with Ben at the end of last year, and we decided that, you know, he knows what it takes to be successful, and basically don't fix anything that's not broke. So we tried to stay true to that, and, you know, to our sponsors, and, you know, we're back again in 2013.
So who are the big sponsors that you added?
Bone Shaker is our biggest one. You know, we still have Ben's support, and he's kind of, you know, he stepped it up this year, and you know, those are going to be. We also have Alpine Stars coming back, so those are our biggest financial contributors. You know, we have smaller ones as well, but those are the big three.
Yeah, great. We like to always mention those because those are what make this sport so possible. talk to me a little bit about Schmalz. I know last year at the end of the year, didn't he ride with Bissell for a few moments there, and or
Yeah, he guest rode with them for a few races last August, and then he came back and I talked to him at the end of the year, and he was kind of unsure what he wanted to do, and I know that he was back and forth with Bissell, and I'm not even really sure what the end result was, or what kind of pushed him away, or what exactly happened, but regardless, we're happy to have him. He's an incredible talent, and one of the brightest stars in the United States. So we're obviously happy to have him back, and he knows that he always had a home here no matter what.
Well, talk to me about what you think you guys are going to get out of 2013. I mean, just looking at your 2012 schedules and what you guys accomplished in Joe Martin, and then you guys came out of nowhere in the Nature Valley, won that one. Marcotte won a big stage on Crybaby Hill. I mean, that's a pretty successful year. Do you
Sure.
guys think you can top that?
I mean, that's what, Ben and I sat down, and I mean, that's our goal always. And honestly, I think our roster this year is head and shoulders stronger than what it's ever been. We like to keep it fun, and we have a great management team, and everybody's behind the team. So, I mean, honestly, I think the sky's the limit, and we have Heath out there kind of leading the troops, and he does a phenomenal job at that. And yeah, I honestly do. I think that we're going to be bigger, badder, and better than years previous.
Do all these guys have different coaches, or is there one central coach, or?
We work with Source Endurance. They came on last year, and they provide a number of different things. But for guys like Eric, Eric works a full-time job. I mean, he owns a chiropractic clinic, so his training has got to be very specific, and so Source Endurance is there to always help him out. They do a lot of consulting with the riders and diet. We do performance testing with them. I mean, there's a number of things they provide. So, we're pretty set up in that regard.
Yeah. So are you going to be traveling with the team the full time this year? Or?
Yeah, as much as I can, and I plan on it. We're already honestly looking towards 2014 and trying to get a lot of that stuff rolling. So, it's I'll definitely be out there at the bigger ones and support in any way I can.
Where will we see your team at the first big race? Where are you guys going to be?
We'll have some guys at San Dimas, but the first big one we'll all be together is going to be Redlands. We're going to kick it off there.
Oh, that's awesome. We have a launch party at Redlands. We want to make sure you're there. That's when we're launching that magazine. That'll be
Absolutely.
on Sunday night, April 7th. Just a little plug there. But no, I'm a big ELBOWZ fan. I love following all of your riders. Any kit changes for this year? Or is it going to be the same kits, or?
It's gonna be a touch different. We added some black and with Bone Shaker, kind of rearranged some of the logos. But again, it was we had a great formula, so we tried to keep it very, very similar, and don't mess with a good thing.
Who do you expect the most out of this year, as far as a rider wise and growth wise on your team?
Honestly, I mean, that's a tough question, because I think that in any guy that has success, it's because of all the rest of them. So you can't really pinpoint. I mean, obviously Eric's out there last year winning big races, Christian, all of them, Heath, every rider. But it wasn't just obviously their talent. I mean, to a certain extent, but the guys were all there to help them. I mean, through there's ups and downs and trials and tribulations throughout the year. So, that's a tough question. But as far as actual development and, seeing big things to come, obviously Travis, I mean, that kid, once again, that was one that I talked to the guys at the end of the year, and I said, okay, if you could pick somebody kind of in your geographical location to bring with you before I could finish, he said Travis. And I mean, look at what he's done this year. The kid's been great. So I would probably tip him as being kind of the, one of the big shockers of this year.
Yeah, well, great. Well, we are happy that ELBOWZ Racing is back in 2013, and we wish you guys a successful campaign, and I'll be definitely checking in with you again as the year goes on, and especially all of the fellas, to make sure that we're giving them the press that they're going to deserve. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would. One thing real quick, and that is, oftentimes, and I've been thinking about this a lot here lately, but, with somebody like Ben, how special this program is to each and every one of us involved with it. And, I think that as we go out on the road, we don't really think about, him being all the way over there, and he's kind of isolated. We're his good friends, and we're his team. And, I just want to try and get as many people out there to support Ben this year as possible. And, just obviously the team, and thank him because, he's put something together amazing. And his mom, Mary Spees, has been, pivotal in this. So, we just really want to thank them both and wish him the best of luck this year.
Yeah, those are good words, and that's a good point, because most people don't realize how much money, time, and organization goes into moving you guys around the country and all of your bikes, and making sure your guys are probably, have eaten correctly, and, rested in the hotels, and it's a monster job. And
well, absolutely. It's one of those that, you truly enjoy the fruits of your own labor. So, if those guys are out there and, putting their time in, and I mean, we all know, crappy weather days and whatever it is, us on the sidelines, we have to do the same thing. So, Ben and Mary are always one of the first ones that pitch in. And so it's, it's truly something special. And to see somebody come out and support a sport that we all love is it's pretty amazing.
Now, will we get to see Ben and Mary at some races this year?
I'm hoping. That's always our goal. I always tell them at the beginning of the year, if he could just make it out to one race on the road and just, see what it's like, and just the absolute chaos that ensues.
What I think a lift it would give your team too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because there's so many people. I mean, he's friends with, all the big European pros, and he'll go ride with like Cancellara and, I mean, all these different guys. And so it's funny to hear them like talking about the team, because they all know about the team just through Ben. And it's funny to see the admiration between the two when you're with him and he runs in, because he's a cycling nut. He absolutely loves the sport, and he gets just as excited as anyone else when he sees one of those big guys. And it's the same way with them. They're absolutely like, wow, this is a former Superbike world champion standing here. So it's really funny, and it's really neat. But I get all the time people commenting from all over the world, riders, and I mean just anyone passionate about the sport, how neat it really is. So I'm hoping that he can definitely make it out to a race, and I think it would be pretty neat.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us on CyclingIllustrated.com, Nick. We'll be touching base with you soon.